Hey guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88, and today for my next horror slasher movie review of the continuation of the Halloween movies is Halloween 2, More of the Night He Came Home. So it showed the previous after where Dr. Loomis shots Michael on the ground, and then he goes downstairs, and that's where they show the second Halloween movie scene. So this is a part of Halloween 2. It still takes place in Halloween night in 1978. So Dr. Loomis tries to figure out what happened to Michael. Did he got away or anything? But what happens is he checks the ground and he sees his blood. So he realized he did shot him 6 times. So this second movie is much darker. It's really gothic, and the music they did have the same music, but they mixed a little remix that they did and just to make it more darker and much more scarier. But it wasn't that scary. It was much more bloodier and much more violent than the first one. Michael Myers is still on the loose. He's still going after Laurie Strode. So what he does is he just goes into one of the neighbors' house and picks up a kitchen knife and goes and persuades to find Laurie. When Laurie Strode went to the hospital, they fix her stitches, fix her cuts, and give her some medicine so that way she could keep calm and relaxed. And meanwhile, back in Haddonfield, Dr. Loomis tries to explain to Sheriff Brackett that he did shot him 6 times right in the heart, but unfortunately that didn't really convince him. He thought he missed, and he did have some proof. He had blood in his hands, but that still doesn't convince Sheriff Brackett. So they still search for Michael just to be sure, just to think that he's dead or not. So by the time they found someone that they think they found Michael, so Loomis persuades and goes after this imposter Michael Myers. He did have the same mask. I mean, the similar mask of it, just a little different. His hair is all spiked up and it was blonde, and plus he had a Halloween bat. He should have known that wasn't really him. That wasn't really Michael Myers. But by the time he tries to shoot him and Sheriff Brackett goes after him, tries to stop him, but it was too late. That the cop's car just like drives really fast and hits him, and all of a sudden, boom, he explodes. And to be sure to see that it was really Michael Myers, to see that if he was dead or not, nobody could recognize him. They couldn't see him because he was all burned to a crisp and all burned up. So, but everyone believes that Michael Myers is really dead and he's really finally gone. So that's what they think. So Michael Myers walks around and he blends in. Nobody doesn't recognize him because he fits in. He wears a mask. He walks steadily just to act like one of the Halloween trick-or-treaters. Cops didn't even see him. They didn't even recognize who was Michael Myers because he fit in. He fit in just perfect just to stay, and he pursues and goes right into the hospital to go after Laurie. Michael, he goes into the hospital. He cuts out the power, cuts off the telephone systems and the radios in case anyone calls back up or calls the cops and saying that Michael Myers is here. He kills everyone in the hospital. He kills the doctors, the nurse, the paramedics, even the security guard. And I should tell you, the security guard's death was kind of odd and really strange, and because he just hit him with the back of the hammer right into his forehead and just wham! That was seriously not too realistic, and they couldn't have done better with his death. Halloween 2 is really darker, but kind of complicated because due to all the editing and the storyline, that's kind of complicated, but it really does explain a little more about Michael Myers' life and what he is and how he became what he becomes. And there's another connection between Laurie and Michael that they realize now that they are brothers and sisters, which Laurie doesn't know that's his brother, but she has some flashbacks, memories, like when she was a little girl, and where she used to go to the clinic, and guess who's there? Michael, when he was a little boy. But I would like to say, how does she know that Michael Myers and Laurie Strode are brothers and sisters? Like, how does she know all of a sudden? And Michael Myers, I should tell you, Michael Myers, he's not just a man wearing a mask and walking around with a butcher knife or something. He's more of a figure of the shadows, and a figure of a demon into the darkness. He is definitely the shape, and that's why he's hiding in the shadows or hiding in the darkness, or pops out in the middle of nowhere and starts to get ready to attack you. So more likely he's a a ghost figure that haunts you in your dreams, or haunts you wherever you sleep, or haunts you wherever you walk, and he follows you. That's what Michael Myers is, and that's why he is preferred to known as the Shape, which I should have told you guys earlier during when I did a review on the first Halloween movie, but that's really much more likely what he is. He is definitely known as the Shape. Overall, with this movie, it is kind of good, and with all the killings, and the storyline is good, but it's still too complicated to me, because sometimes storylines, they confuse me, and I don't really understand of what's going on and what makes sense or what doesn't really make sense. And either way, that Halloween 2 is also one of my favorite movies. That's why I stick to Halloween 1 and 2. And there was a scene where Dr. Loomis and the cops, they go into the classroom and they see a knife in the drawing picture, which that's supposed to be Michael and his two other sisters. And he wrote on the roll, which is Sam Hain, and according to Dr. Loomis, that means the Lord of the Dead. That's what he's called as, Sam Hain, the Lord of the Dead. So by the time Dr. Loomis and her assistant go back, and they realizing that Laurie Strode is Michael Myers' little sister, they go back in the hospital and trying to find her, but when Laurie tries to get out of the hospital, Michael Myers goes after her and tries to get help and calls them out, but they didn't hear her. But Dr. Loomis found her and opens the door, and when Michael goes like right through the door, like smashes the glass door without even trying opening it or punching the glass wall, he just simply goes right smashing to that door. You think Jason Voorhees really unstoppable and invincible and goes through doors and walls? So does Michael. He's invincible too, and he's unstoppable too. Dr. Loomis tries to shoot him again, like I don't know how many times he shot him. This is like the 10th or 9th time he tries shooting him, and then he falls down in the ground. When the cop tries to see if he is dead or not, he just like gets him and slits his throat. And also closer to the end of this movie, where Dr. Loomis gives Laura the gun, and then Michael just like goes right smashing the door, and he stabs Loomis right through the stomach. Laura just shot Michael both right in his eyes. The effects of it where his eyes bleeds and he can't see, so technically he's totally blind. So he just like swings the scalpel, see if he could get Laurie, and where Dr. Loomis did, he like turns on the gas and the oxygen, and so did Laurie, the carbon dioxide. At that point, one of them would have been like feeling all dizzy or knocked out, because those gas and oxygen and carbon dioxide, they're really strong, and all three of them would have been like out like a light. Epic scene ever is where Dr. Loomis sacrificed himself and to save Laurie and to kill Michael once and for all. Lights up the lighter and everything just boom explodes. So where Laurie thinks it's over, but then all of a sudden Michael Myers just like all burning up to a crisp and keeps on going until all of a sudden flies out dead. So after done talking about this movie is really, it's really much more gory. It's really gory. It's really darker, and due to with the music, the music orchestra was very darker and droner. And the new director, Rick Rossano, he directed the second Halloween movie, but John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, they produced this movie, so at least they stick around to produce this movie. But it was too bad that John Carpenter didn't direct the second film. I wish he did. But just to rate this movie, I would give it a 80 out of 100. It's still good. I mean, it's really it's still a classic movie, and just to see the violence and the gory and the blood going out, and even with the gothic music going on as well. And I do have this movie on Blu-ray and DVD. So by next week, when I talk about for my Halloween horror slasher movie review, I'll be talking about is Halloween 3, The Season of the Witch. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88's signing off. His saying is, peace!